You probably know this kind of person. You walk into their home and everything is clean. Not quickly cleaned before someone comes over clean. Not big Sunday cleaning session clean. Just always clean. And it almost creates a kind of fascination. You wonder how they do it. Do they have more discipline, more time? Do they actually enjoy cleaning their house every single day? In reality, it is not just about cleaning, it is about psychology. Because people who maintain their space every day are not operating from quite the same mental framework as people who wait until things get out of hand before they act. And understanding that can completely change the way you see your environment. Because a clean home is not just about aesthetics. It is also about mental load, inner safety, identity, and your relationship with yourself. If you have ever felt that a messy space drains you, makes you anxious, or gives you the feeling that you are mentally suffocating, then this topic probably concerns you more than you think. Your brain does not separate your inner world and your outer world as clearly as you imagine. The place you live in constantly sends signals to your nervous system. Every object left out, every pile waiting to be dealt with, every item of clothing placed somewhere just for now, every dish left for later. Your brain registers all of it, and everything left unfinished becomes a kind of open mental task. In other words, visual disorder also becomes cognitive disorder. The more unfinished elements your space accumulates, the more your attention gets scattered. You may feel like you are simply at home, but your brain keeps receiving tiny signals of work, delay, friction, and future effort. That is why a cluttered space is not just annoying, it is exhausting, and it can also force you to make endless, tiny decisions. The problem is that all of those mini decisions cost energy. On the other hand, when your environment is orderly, your brain can release some of that tension. There is less visual noise, less irrelevant information, fewer silent reminders of what you have not done yet, and suddenly you breathe better. You think better. You feel lighter. Very often, these people are protecting themselves mentally. They have understood, consciously or not, that maintaining their environment also means maintaining their inner state. What these people are really looking for is not the act of cleaning itself. It is the feeling of regaining control over their space, and therefore, to some extent, over their life. Because there are so many things you cannot control. So, when you tidy up, clean, and put something back where it belongs, you send a very clear signal to your brain. Here, I can act. And sometimes a made bed or an empty sink does more for your nervous system than you realize. This key is identity. They see themselves as people who take care of their space. And when a behavior becomes tied to your identity, it requires much less effort. Not because they are incapable, but because they keep telling themselves internally, I am disorganized, I am messy, I have never been able to keep it up. But identity is not fixed. It is built through the evidence you give yourself. Every time you clean the table after eating, every time you put something away immediately, every time you make your bed, your brain starts to register. Maybe I am someone who takes care of their space. So the goal is not to force yourself to clean for the rest of your life. The goal is to repeat it long enough that it no longer feels like constant effort. You stop being someone who is trying to maintain a habit. You become someone for whom that habit is normal. That is also why the morning can be such a powerful moment. When you start your day with a simple act like making your bed, emptying the sink or wiping down a surface, you create a completion loop. You have not succeeded in life by 8 a.m. yet, but you have already created a first movement in the right direction. And when several small actions begin to stack together, your brain starts to perceive your day as something manageable. Because mess is not always just laziness or lack of discipline. Sometimes it is a signal. When someone is not doing well, their space is often one of the first places where it shows. Outer disorder can then become a reflection of inner disorder, and very often a kind of shame gets added to all of that. The more you avoid it, the more guilty you feel. And the more guilty you feel, the harder it becomes to start. You come home to recover, but your space keeps quietly pulling on your brain. People who clean every day are not necessarily more disciplined than you. Very often, they have simply built a system, An automation? A sequence that has become normal. And that is exactly what you should be aiming for. Not more willpower, but more automation. Because discipline gets depleted. A well-established habit uses far less mental energy. There is also another aspect that people do not talk about enough, even though it is huge. The sensory experience of a clean space. An orderly place, visually calm, with air, room to move and clear surfaces, often sends a very simple message to the body. You can let go. For some people, especially those who are highly sensitive to their environment, the effect is immediate. In that case, cleaning is no longer just a preference. It becomes almost a mental hygiene practice. And there is something else fascinating about this behavior. Often, when people clean, they are not just cleaning their house, they are also regulating their emotional state. You feel stressed, irritated, overwhelmed, and suddenly you start tidying. Cleaning has a beginning, a middle, and an end. The result is visible, and for the brain, that is deeply soothing. Restoring order outside can sometimes help restore a little order inside. That is also why a small reset in the evening can have a disproportionate effect. When you put things back in place before going to bed, you are symbolically closing the day. And that small detail also changes how you wake up the next morning. The biggest trap is waiting until everything becomes catastrophic before dealing with it. The real key is catching the mess while it is still small. You are no longer doing a big cleaning session. You are simply maintaining a level of calm. Second key, attach the action to something that already exists. Third key, reduce friction as much as possible. And finally, stop experiencing this moment as punishment. Your home is not just the place where you live. It is also a physical expression of what you allow yourself to experience every day. When you take care of your space, you send yourself a silent but powerful message. The place where I live matters. My mental comfort matters. My inner peace matters. For the next 7 days, choose just one space. Just one. And keep only that space clean every day. Not perfectly, just consciously. Observe what it changes in your energy, in your stress level, and in your relationship with yourself. Because at the end of the day, this is not just a story about a clean home. It is a story about showing up for yourself, respecting your space, and maybe, quite simply, finding a gentler way to live with your own mind.